We got the doctor in the house, the Prince of Denny's himself, Dr. Umar Johnson.
I want to thank you, Joe, for making this last-minute arrangement. I know that my message doesn't sound like a fit for your cockazard audience, but as you know, there's a Denny's around the street, and I just finished kicking Dennis Sperling and Ty City's ass in an all-you-can-eat contest again.
No problem, Doc, but in any case, let's get to business. You stated recently about how black men, specifically the cleanup men, were dropping the ball in mentoring young boys. You also talked about how it isn't the fault of Keisha's when they go Daggle mode, and that Pookie isn't the one to blame for fatherless boys nor the current state of Da Communitah.
Well, let me address the first point. I got an audience of people in Da Communitah where they aren't trying to hear about real solutions. I initially started off in childhood education talking about the sabotaging that the public school system does to young black boys, but Da Communitah wasn't trying to hear that. I still was passionate about getting mentorship for young black boys, but the majority of these grown-ass babies kids weren't trying to hit the Cashapp. So like how Kevin Samuels came up after he pivoted from catering to black men to focusing on black women, I did the same thing.
Oh, I remember Kevin Samuels. Gone too soon. He had mad hustle.
Now, I didn't agree with everything that Kevin said nor how he went after the sisterhood, but our dear brother is at peace with the ancestors, roasting every Big Shirley that is passed on.
But why are you claiming that black men, specifically those who have jobs, lives, no kids, and a clean record, need to go back to mentor to young boys, especially the kind of guys who these kids' mothers wouldn't give the draws to if their lives depended on it?
You may not understand this, my Caucasoid stoner friend, but in Da Communitah, it's a Gynocracy, meaning you don't do anything to piss off the sisterhood, partially because they're the right hand of white supremacy, and partially because the brothers don't have the balls to take their community back. So this leaves me no other choice than to kiss the female ass. And speaking of which, they got big, nice asses, like what you see in the Script Club.
Hold on, Doc. It seems like you're spilling a lot of beans. Beans that if spilled will ruin your hustle.
Well, I'm not too worried about telling it all on your show, at least. There are barely any sisters who listen to your podcast anyway, as you know, and the kind of brothers who listen to you are beyond lost. They're playing in the snow so much, they're gonna fuck around and end up on the next Coca-Cola Christmas commercial with the polar bears.
Well, I can't deny that about sisters not listening to my show, but what do you got against the brothers who watch my show? Aren't these the guys you've been roasting for dating white women but want to drag back to help raise bastard kids?
Look here, Joe, they may get some cover with your I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude. We're all dudes, libertarian platform. But these brothers aren't safe from the wrath of the communitah. These guys are lame. These guys are weak sauce. They're socially awkward. And they ain't got no swag. These guys are so corny, they can generate a whole new class of ethanol. And these guys chase white and Asian women with no ass because they ain't packing. These guys are still whining about middle and high school.
Hold on. First off, the black men I have on are definitely packing. Don't ask how I know. And bitching about middle and high school? At least they lived through that bullshit.
Unlike what?
Unlike Jim Crow and slavery, both of which you stay telling your audience to focus on instead of focusing on even the bullshit blacks face now.
Like what?
Like police brutality, fatherless home, the divorce and child support system, the utilization of rap music to degrade the black image, every other kid sounding like a mumble rapper, your women forcing you to accept obese broads as thick, competent black men being exiled from the black community, so-called thugs being thinner than toothpicks. Need I go on?
All right, let's move on to how Keisha ain't at fault for acting like a strag. You see, Joe, our sisters have a unique struggle that no other women has.
And what struggle is that?
The struggle of activating their melanin powers. You see, Joe, every other race can activate their melanin powers and feel prettier than a girl after a Playboy pinup shoot. And most of these other women don't even have as much melanin.
All right, you got to explain to me what melanin powers activate mean, unless I misheard and am smoking on the same thing you're on.
So I'm sure you and your audience has seen Sailor Moon, or at least fapped to it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Wait a second, I thought you as a Pan-African would know nothing about an anime show that had no sisters. Why are you watching anime with nothing but whitish, Asianish chicks?
Good point. When Sailor Moon and her homegirls do their transformation, they turn into their ultimate form. Well, every other race of women can use their powers, activate to do the same. Latina transforms and you have whole fiesta scenes like off of Fast and Furious and Bad Bunny videos. An Asian woman transforms and you have cities from the future and 150 IQ offspring. When white women transform, you at least can get quaint-ass suburbs, doable MILFs with big jugs and decently behaved kids. Even African and Caribbean women can transform and you can get a good ass plate and bomb-ass poom. But when a sister transforms...
Yeah, I get what you're saying. All of my black homies got stories for hours.
So you now know why your black male fan base are a bunch of coons.
But you're asking these coons to help the black community.
Look, Joe, I know everyone's an individual in your neck of the woods and lame guys can get a cute girlfriend before they're 30. But we're a village and tribal people. Have you seen any of the Black Panther movies? Women are on top. Pookies get some cookie crisps. And lames are nowhere to be found until we all done with our fun and need a cleanup man and fall guy. That's how my payroll rolls. I mean, that's how we roll.
Speaking of which, you stated that it ain't Pookie's fault for the condition of communitah. So if it isn't his fault, who is?
I'll spell it out again. The white man, his woman, and white supremacy did some naughty things way back in the land before time. That caused our sisters to not be able to transform the same way every other woman can. As a result, they need the help of Pookies and lames, but in different ways.
So explain how my ancestors going back into the DeLorean ruined sisters transforming, or at least explain why sisters aren't utilizing lames for D and Pookies as stepdaddies.
It can't be explained, just philosophized. Whether on 8-hour panels, liberal arts classes, or just good old pandering, we got perhaps the greatest hustle and shield known to man, telling a bunch of lazy Negroes that white supremacy is the reason behind their personal fuck-ups. You tell a typical Negro that, and you can sell him anything, including that productive black men need to come back to the table and take care of some baby's kids, and his own brothers and sisters will SBE that productive black man into doing our dirty work. You tell a dusty knucklehead that it ain't his fault, and he'll offer you whatever you need. Goons for protection, his shoe collection, and PS5 to borrow, his weed on discount, or maybe, just maybe, his women. And you tell a scraggle daggle that someone needs to bail her out of her own mess. You're printing more money than the Federal Reserve.
I thought Kevin Samuels cooking daggles was doing that job. Besides, what solution are you looking for, given that these guys mentor the young boys that were supposed to be mentored by their dads, or at least in your school?
Oh, gee, would you look at the time? I need to head out to L.A. to see my boy, Tariq. We're strategizing on how to carry the torch after Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton stand down.
Well, before you go, we have some snow bunnies in the back.
Oh, well, I guess I can catch the other flight later today. But can one of them pass for being light-skinned? Your boy needs to save face.